What happens when a humanoid robot reportedly runs 100 meters faster than any human ever has? That is where we begin today. Welcome to the Automated Daily Tech News Edition, the podcast created by generative AI. It is August 22nd, 2026, and I'm Trend Teller. Here's the tech story taking shape today. Robots are getting faster. AI companies are spending bigger. Apple is reshuffling key teams, and crypto is swinging hard again. This episode is brought to you by Consensus. Consensus uses AI to help you find and understand research papers, and you can get a free month. Find the link in the episode notes. Let's start with robotics, where the headline is hard to ignore. China's state broadcaster says a humanoid robot developed by Honor completed a 100-meter run in 9:32 seconds at an event in Beijing. That time was presented as faster than the human world record, which instantly turns what might have sounded like a lab demo into something much more attention-grabbing. Even if people debate the conditions or the comparison, the broader point is clear. Humanoid robots are moving from careful stage appearances toward far more dynamic, public tests of speed and control. That development landed as the second World Humanoid Robot Games opened in Beijing. What stands out here is that these events are increasingly about live performance, not polished marketing footage. Races, balance, endurance, and real-time execution are becoming the public scorecards for robotics progress. In other words, the industry is finding a very visible way to measure who is actually advancing beyond prototypes. In a new development from a story we've been following, Apple is reportedly eliminating at least 200 jobs across teams tied to Siri and Vision Pro. Reports say the cuts hit more than 100 roles in Vision Pro and another 100 in Siri and related internal groups. The reason this matters is not just the headcount. It suggests Apple is tightening focus inside two areas that have drawn intense attention: voice AI and mixed reality. At a time when every major platform company is reassessing where to place its bets, this looks like a sharper internal reset. The AI business story today is also about money, and lots of it. One report says NVIDIA invested $7 billion through a licensing structure instead of going for a traditional acquisition. That may sound like a legal detail, but it is strategically important. It gives a company room to expand influence and secure access without taking on the complications that come with buying the whole asset outright. In the current AI race, flexible deal-making may be almost as valuable as raw cash. Another major AI finance headline says Anthropic could be heading toward the public market, with an IPO filing expected this month. If that happens, it would become one of the clearest real-world tests yet for how public investors want to value a frontier AI company. The excitement around generative AI is obvious, but so are the costs. A public filing would put those economics under much brighter light. And in another update tied to the AI infrastructure race, Broadcom is reportedly looking at a debt package of up to $100 billion to expand its AI semiconductor position. If that plan moves ahead, it would underline just how extreme the capital demands of this market have become. AI is no longer only a software story. It is a financing story, a power story, and a manufacturing story all at once. On the security front, there is an urgent warning around Ray, the open-source framework widely used in AI and distributed computing. A vulnerability tracked as CVE 2025-62593 is being described as actively exploited, and CISA added it to its known exploited vulnerabilities catalog on August 17. What really catches attention is the response window. Federal civilian agencies were given only until August 20 to fix it. That is unusually fast, and it signals that this is being treated as a serious operational risk, not a routine patch cycle. There was also an important infrastructure update that may sound niche at first, but it connects directly to AI scale. 7 Japanese companies, including NTT, KDDI, NEC, Rakuten Mobile, OKI, Sumitomo Electric, and Onefinity, say an all-optical network design guideline has now been formally approved by ITUT as an international recommendation. The big idea is straightforward. When AI systems spread across huge clusters and multiple data centers, the network can become the bottleneck. A standardized approach to faster, lower power links could make it easier for the industry to build larger AI systems without every vendor inventing its own incompatible setup. Finally, crypto had one of those days where everything seemed to move at once. Bitcoin jumped nearly 8% in 24 hours, Ether moved higher as well, and the rally reportedly wiped out a huge number of bearish positions. More than 190,000 traders were liquidated, with total liquidations around 1.535 billion, mostly on the short side. That tells you this was not just a calm upward drift. It was a forceful squeeze that likely pushed volatility even higher. Inside the same market, Uniswap reportedly set a record for daily token burn value, with roughly 590,000 removed from circulation in a single day. That is being watched as a sign of strong protocol activity. At the same time, there was a more troubling development. The sandbox halted token transfers after a suspected exploit involving 500 million sand. So the crypto picture today is a familiar mix of excitement and fragility, with strong trading activity on one side and platform security concerns on the other. One more piece to watch in Washington. Reports say the CFTC is preparing for a more standalone crypto regime as momentum builds behind the Clarity Act. If that direction holds, the effect could be significant. Regulation is often discussed as a brake on the sector, but clear rules can also unlock participation by institutions that have been waiting for a more defined framework. Thanks to our sponsor, Stock MVP. Stock MVP helps you invest like the pros using data-driven insights. Find the link in the episode notes. That's the rundown for today. Faster humanoid robots, a notable Apple reset, giant new AI financing signals, an urgent race security warning, and a crypto market that is anything but quiet. Thanks for listening to the Automated Daily Tech News Edition. I'm Trend Teller, and I'll be back tomorrow with the next wave of stories.